We have a liftoff.
It's interesting to talk about really where is there money to be made in space.
This is not the internet where you build up a huge user base and then you figure out how to monetize them later.
There's a subset of the community not named SpaceX, not named Blue Origin.
Hello. Good morning.
This is
Good
like
evening.
March Madness. It's one and done. I got one shot to get
So,
to the end.
at the
or
moment,
else
this
I'm
is
either
the
gonna
status
fail,
of
run out money,
our
or be gobbled up by
colony
someone else.
in one of the most hardest
There are a lot
difficulties that I
easier
can
ways
think
to make
of. I don't
money
really
than
know.
Building a rocket company.
No, it's been harder.
Look, it
It's
is
hard.
painfully hard.
I need to remember what I'm doing
Whether it's a
here.
rocket or anything. Doubling production is just a really tough thing to do.
Startups are super tough and incredibly tough in this industry, so unfortunately I think a lot of those companies are going to fail.
I think space is the final frontier.
do I
think
do?
you'll see so much excitement and so much
Polymer
interest
is
because the
terrible, right?
potential is real.
Once you have that cheap access to space, now you have entirely new business
No one's
models
trading
that
with me at
close
the
that
moment,
didn't
so
before.
I guess
The
I'm gonna have
way
to buy
that people
some.
have made money commercially in space has been like just bouncing signals off the satellites. And so industrialization of space is like a new sector for space.
My screen
The
is
real thing we
loading.
want is
Love
not
background
just to make
music.
something profitable in space, but to make being in space profitable for everyone.
Listen. Stop with the lulls. I'm confused. Oh yeah, stop. Actually, do stop with the lulls. You're just, hogging resources there. Okay, so we're currently working on a new farm and a new spire. And all of this, I might move all of this in here now.
T-minus 10, 9,
I just need to get my bearings. That's what I was doing last time.
6, 5,
And that's close.
The space race isn't just global superpowers duking it out for bragging rights and technological supremacy anymore. Private companies, lots of them, are rushing to commercialize not just the final frontier.
So my
but
objective is still to do this area, by the way.
I'm a sports guy.
Not to
This
do
is
that
like
yet.
March Madness to me. It's one and done. I got one shot to get to the end.
In
or else
Roblox?
I'm either going to fail, run out of money, or be gobbled up by someone else.
And whoever figures out how to make launch safe, affordable, and convenient is going to take the next giant leap.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the
Yeah,
other
we can't
thing.
do this.
Not
We're gonna have to do
because
it old
they are easy,
school,
but
which
because
sucks.
they are.
60 years into the space race, the way we leave Earth has changed remarkably.
0, all engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo.
Space seemed like a vast
Anomaly
black desert.
analyzed.
But now we're ready to make the desert bloom. I'm talking about opening space up to business, to private enterprise, opening space up to commerce and experimentation and development. Why? To improve the quality of life on Earth.
25 years
We're gonna
after
sell a
Ronald
lot of
Reagan signed
soybeans,
the Commercial
boys.
Space Launch Act, the desert
Howdy
has
8
begun
feet. What
blooming.
the fuck does that mean?
I think if you were a young person in 1969, you
All
saw
my life,
people
all
walking
things
on the
suck.
moon, and 50 years later, we still
Oh yeah, I
have
wanted to make a
that.
new
I
depot.
think that's a
So
little
this one is
disappointing.
just
I
the
think they
beginning.
took that,
We're gonna need to set up a
their
proper
hopes and
depot.
dreams of their
Not
youth
sure where though.
and are applying it in today's marketplace, and I think they're having a fantastic success.
In the world of rocket launch, there are
I have
two
to shut
very
this
distinct
down.
races going on. The first are the large rocket companies like SpaceX, Virgin
Better than
Galactic,
him.
and Blue Origin.
Look at that tiny
Jeff Bezos
rocket
has
kid.
reportedly invested billions already in Blue Origin and will invest billions more.
NASA is backwards on food.
SpaceX has also raised
And
billions of dollars
SpaceX
and
has
acquired
some
very
resources.
large contracts from NASA as well in order to fund both development and
Yeah,
operations.
I like this style. I really wish we go for this style, but I don't think Elon Musk, he's gonna stick with
But they
stainless
aren't the
steel,
only
I think.
players in the game. There's a heated race picking up between small and medium launch companies.
There's a subset of the community not named SpaceX, not named Blue Origin, trying to figure out, okay, how can we get there fast?
Companies like Rocket Lab, Relativity, Firefly, and Virgin Orbit.
Never heard of any of this.
Right now, there are more than 100
companies.
small launch companies competing not just to get to space, but to see who can get there most reliably, cheapest, and then repeat it over and over and over again. And ideally, end up with their business in the black. Because entire new industries rely on these launch companies getting payloads into orbit.
Yes.
And any missteps can spell disaster, not just for a rocket, but an entire company.
There is a $200+ billion commercial space industry
What's
right
new?
now today. There are
This
a
is
couple
Mars.
of huge markets that have been
This
very
is
profitable.
Mars. We can colonize it in the
Profitable
name
is
of
the
America.
satellite industry. In 2018, the global space economy was estimated to be around $360 billion. $277 billion of that
trying
is
to
the
make
satellite
my
industry, which has actually grown over
residential
$100
area
billion
here.
over the past decade. And for those satellites to get to space, they need to be launched on a rocket. Global launches in 2018 increased by
There you go.
46% over the number of launches a decade ago. In many respects, it's never been easier to put a satellite into space in terms of the cost and the availability of rockets to ride into orbit. And a new era of smaller, cheaper
I wanna
satellite
set this up now.
technology is creating this boom.
Space.
Once a year, out in a desert of northern Utah,
When are we gonna
the
start
Small
doing human
Satellite or
trafficking in
SmallSat
space? I wonder.
Conference becomes
What the
slogan.
fuck kind of question
It has
is
all the
that?
trademark features of an industry trade show. Bright
When are we gonna
lanyards,
start human trafficking in
tons of swag,
space? I'm
but
just
the deals
curious.
happening here are carving out what the future of the space
What is this?
economy
What the
will be.
fuck is that?
I've been coming to this
I've never seen this
conference
before.
for 20 years and seen
That
it
is
grow
cool,
from
but
300
also
people to
confusing.
over 3,000. So it is exciting to see
Get out of
that
here.
transition as
That
we
shit,
move
Space
into the next
Force.
phase.
Space
Traditional
Force.
satellites are often powerful behemoths.
You don't
the
remember
size
me in
of
your
school
stream
buses,
or
costing
live
hundreds of millions,
stream?
if not billions
Get it.
of dollars to build.
Saying the same thing.
Today, the proliferation
Hey there,
of
Ninja
small
Wolf
sats,
14 gamer.
CubeSats,
Most likely
even
you already left at this
nanosats
point.
can cost as little as $10,000
Some money.
and can be built
Some
with
food,
similar
though.
hardware that goes into your cell phone.
They range from the size of a Rubik's Cube.
I still want to
to about
make
the size of
a
dorm
research
room
area here
refrigerator.
because this
And
research
that's a
are
big
so
difference.
good. But I
And so
need to
some
set
of
up
these
something
launch
here.
ventures want to launch
Gonna have to
a few
change this
dorm-size
off now.
refrigerators, and others
Oh.
want to launch dozens of CubeSats. And so they're trying to divide the market that way.
Those satellites are providing imaging of the Earth. They're potentially providing telecommunications
Food.
services.
Farmer,
and
please
they're
accept my
attracting
food.
quite a lot of investment. Tens, hundreds of millions of dollars, even billions of dollars.
The Earth's insatiable need for communications and internet is really what's driving this huge number of satellites.
Right now
that are
people are
going
just
to
going
orbit
here
in the next
and
5
just
to 7
farming.
years. There's going to be
That's it.
thousands, if not tens
Let's
of
just watch
thousands
them
of new
do their
satellites
jobs.
in orbit in the next 5 to 7 years.
The question is, are they able
As you can
to
see, this
actually
person
provide
is
business services
giving a
that
political
will
speech to the
be
plants to help them
The
grow.
idea is that entirely new business models
Meanwhile,
as well as
there's
revenue
another person
streams
over
will be
here.
propped up by the data these small sats
Can't even get that
collect.
close. Give me a second.
The imaging
Unless
and
this
data
person over
collected
here is
from
actually
these
doing
small
actual
sats
work.
will be used by everyone, from hedge funds to
Using
telecom
her
giants
iPad.
to the US government.
See? Look at that. See?
How much
She just press a button and then they grow quickly. Meanwhile, this person is just talking to the plants. I don't think that's very effective at all. I'm just saying.
Market
Why
surge
is...
for
Oh,
small
finally
sat
they made this.
manufacturing will nearly double by 2020.
Vodka power
Nearly
rocket.
8,000
We
new
need
small
that in the
sats
future.
in space by
Save money.
2026.
The issue was always small satellites have a lot of capability, but there's not a good
NASA
affordable way
can
to get them
keep
into
the...
orbit.
I think NASA
And
can
that's
keep
where
the
the
money.
small launch companies see
SpaceX, though, I'm gonna have to use it
business.
for something else. Like improving
The
our
fact that
relationship
a
with the
small
other
launch
colonies.
vehicle is much cheaper in toto than a large launch vehicle, on the order of
I think I need
$500
this
million
one.
as opposed
Oh, wait.
to $50 to $100 million.
colony.
And there are more customers.
Okay, now we can actually
Say
get some
you have
money.
a small sat that you want to launch into orbit. Think
Mars
of the
one.
big companies like SpaceX.
Let's test
as a
out Mars
bus,
one for
and
this.
Small and medium launch companies
The
like
balls.
Rocket Lab as a taxi. With large launchers, you're at the back of the bus. After the needs of what's called
Right now,
primary,
people are still living in the
main
marshes,
payload
but I
of
think
the
it's time
rocket,
for us
like
to
a big
move them
government
out.
satellite.
Look at this
And
guy,
the
see?
small sat is
They
just
have to go to
piggybacking
work,
off that primary,
and then
since
when
they
they're
will
done, they have to
majority
go back
of
in
rockets.
here to eat,
Small
and then when
launchers
they're
like
done, they have to go
Rocket Lab,
outside
the
again.
small sat can
Do you know how many times they have to remove their spacesuit every time to do that? That's a lot of work, I'm just saying.
Right.
A lot of time, I think, being used up just doing those things. Look at those guys.
Flexibility about
Oh,
when
look at them.
and exactly where you want to go into
They
orbit.
go inside?
But
Yes, I can.
it's more
I can actually get
expensive.
inside. That's really cool.
Sometimes a rideshare
It's like
on a
I'm
big
there
rocket
with them.
and the chance to save on your launch
I wish you can
expense
see what's going
is
on
more
inside,
suitable
but no.
depending on the satellite,
What
its
over here?
mission, and the budget.
You see inside the marshes?
orbital inclination,
Oh wow, what the fuck?
angle of the satellite,
Whoa! What?
equator.
What is
Not easy
this?
to move a satellite in
What
the
are the
orbit
what are
to change
those?
its inclination.
Is this what's inside the Marsha?
Customers have to decide how
Why is there a dog outside?
and budgets
What the fuck?
align when choosing how
Why is there a dog
It's getting to the point.
outside? Wait, we need to rename this. Why is there a wait a minute? Shut. Why is there a dog outside in the vacuum of Mars? What the fuck? We have to rename this dog. We'll rename this dog. Yeah, there you go. That's his name. Shram. Shram the dog. The doggo. Shram the doggo. Hell yeah. I'm gonna have to, can I tag him? No, I can't. I'm gonna have to just monitor him from time to time. But look at this dog just going in with no spacesuit into the, what the fuck? What the fuck did I just witness? Space testicles, that's true. Now we know the secret. What's happening? What the fuck was that? I am genuinely confused. I'm not sure how to feel about that. Why is there a dog just walking, you know, normally outside of space? Space Hound! I should have renamed it Space Hound! You guys were so late. You should have told me to rename it Space Hound. How could you?
And so you've got small sat ventures.
Hey, Space Factory is
that
back.
say, we want our own rides.
Those customers will determine which of these small rocket companies succeeds and which of
We're
the
gonna need to bring back
companies
some
will fail.
rockets.
This is not the internet where you
That says-
build up a
no, wait,
huge
we still
user
need to get
base
some.
and then
Fine,
figure out
SpaceX
how
will
to
get some money.
monetize them later. Launch doesn't work that way. You've got to build up a backlog of
I'm buying new rockets. I
Out
don't
of the
have
more
enough
than
money.
120 small and medium-sized launch companies
I'm
out
still
there,
here. Oh,
just
goddammit.
one is successfully
You
launching
left.
rockets for
What
customers
about a cat?
right now.
Well, we'll have to
That
see if there's a
is
cat
Rocket
somewhere.
Lab.
So
People can actually rock on up to it.
Here's a
and
cat.
fly them. That's a great
Here's a
competitive
fat
advantage to
cat.
have over, you know, folks that are still developing a vehicle.
we're gonna call him
Peter
Space
Beck's Rocket
Garfield.
Lab has raised over $280 million
Space
from
Garfield, the
outside
fat
investors,
fucking cat.
with a valuation of more than $1 billion, and is currently flying
What's,
a rocket
look
every
at this guy
30
just chilling.
days.
It looked like
Look at
the
me, I'm
hardest
just
thing to do was
chilling.
to go from zero
I'm
to the
Asian.
first successful orbital flight. But really going from the first
Ooh.
successful orbital flight
Look at the
through to
look at the
producing
home
running
and
mum
shit.
has been equal
We're sleeping
amount
here.
of stress and energy and
Can't even see
complexity
that.
and toughness. And obviously we completed our test
And the
flight.
person is just thinking
And,
about
we
her
did full
days
commercial
in Mars. So
operations,
like,
with
did they make the right
business
decision
time.
to leave
And
Earth?
then,
I'm just saying.
for our NASA mission, and now we're you know we're
They made the
building
right
and
decision.
launching one vehicle.
What am I doing? Why am I just looking at my
And
columnist?
while other rocket companies are looking to build their customer base, Rocket Lab can't meet the rising demand for
Oh
launches.
yeah,
Our biggest
everyone should
issue
have
is
already
to
left for
become
the
global.
Marshes. So there you go. Yeah,
That
they're
is-
inside
that
here
is our
somewhere.
challenge.
What if I can
We've
see
built 400
inside?
acres of new factories,
Or I can't do that.
And you know we're pushing in every direction we can to build more capacity. To be fair, you know, we are the only
I don't think I
dedicated
can see the
solution
people inside
available
the
in
Martian,
marketplace right
sadly.
now in anything in
Oh well,
affordable
at least I
price.
get to, you know,
So we see a tremendous
see
amount
these
of
space
demand.
tentacles.
So the demand
Testicles.
is there.
What the
That's
fuck
not
those
the
things
issue.
are.
The issue is
Ew.
figuring out how to provide reliability, scale, and cadence while keeping
Sun survival.
prices
How
as
the
low as
fuck am I gonna
possible.
survive in the
Each
sun?
company has its own approach.
Sun survival? What? You want us to die?
Building their rocket, you know, whether they're using liquid, solids, fuels, or a combination of the two, whether they're 3D printing, their stages.
We really need to
everyone
get a
has
prop.
their
Okay, I think I need more.
approach to getting to a rocket.
Already launched this, right?
However, the bottom line is
Need to launch
good
this
business in
soon.
space is exactly like good business on Earth.
Still have more food
Focus
here.
on customers, incremental successes, and a vision that's supported
all the
by a real
food.
business model is what works
And I'll
in
keep the
space
food.
just as it works on Earth.
You just sell so much money.
One of the companies who believes they have a successful business model is Firefly, a medium-sized launch company based out of Austin, Texas.
So I'm going to run through this part of the procedure.
That's
Okay,
a lot of
then next
resource we
press
could
logic
actually
to
collect.
Next pressure increment, and we'll go in 10 psi increments, starting from ambient, with a window of 1.
As soon as this person's done,
So in the next 6 months,
this.
Firefly's going to launch
There's
this
a lot
rocket.
of
We're
there's a
working
lot
on
of
it for
resources thanks to
years
the
now,
meteorites that
and
keeps
we're gonna have
falling
that fire
forever.
moment Where we launch the rocket, everything's going to go great.
But the outlook for Firefly wasn't always so rosy.
This is a very
It's survival. We already did that. We failed.
building a rocket company.
We failed.
We have a lot of
Everything now is
setbacks,
full of dead, you know,
setbacks,
everything.
setbacks. But the most challenging one for me has been the financial setbacks.
Firefly, like many other rocket companies, is familiar with financial setbacks. Vector, one of the more well-known launch startups, ran into financial
Wait,
woes in the summer
can
of
I not go down here
2019
anymore? Or
and
what?
saw their CEO depart amid uncertainty
Oh, I
about
still
the
can.
company's future. Back
The
in
question is, do I want to
2017,
set up
Firefly, then known as Firefly
the next
Space
base
Systems,
or
was saddled with
no?
financial instability and filed for bankruptcy. That's when Silicon Valley investment
Yeah, I should
fund
just do
Noosphere
this.
Ventures swooped in, bought their assets,
Off.
and rebranded the company to Firefly Aerospace.
We may have to move
Learned
that
a lot
down,
about the types
or just
of
keep it there. I don't really know
investors
yet.
that you want
Still
to
thinking
have
about it.
involved in this.
Well, we can go
That
around
really
this
has made us,
base.
I think, very strong to push through this time.
Let me just see.
As an investor and as sort of one of the financial
buy anything.
sort of
Stop.
people behind the company, I try to encourage the team to think beyond simply building a product, but building a business.
Thank God we went bankrupt, frankly. We have a better product now. I have a better partner who lets me do what I'm good at doing, and he funds the project.
Running
And I'm not
volleyballs, yes it
humping
is.
the .com guy's legs. Please give me another $100,000.
Now, after 2 years of R&D, they're about to launch their first rocket.
Okay, we need to do a
Plans to have 5
training.
launches next year. All 5 of them will be from Vandenberg Air Force Base in California.
But the next thing is start adding
Ah, shit, we have to
technology
wait.
as an
One more
established company
soul.
and reusability and continuing to drive the cost down. And we want to do things in a different way.
More resource.
Companies
200?
like
Ah,
Firefly
good.
are hard pressed to differentiate themselves to stand out to investors and attract customers.
We're differentiated by our payload
ATRYNEy
class. Even
space
amongst
rocket.
small launchers, we're a big small launcher. So our
You
first
get money.
rocket Alpha is capable of carrying.
Do a stupid
1,000
thing to make your channel grow like Mr.
kilograms.
Beast. I don't wanna.
500
Too much effort.
kilograms in less area.
That bigger payload means they can serve
I have other
as
stuff to
partners
do in
such
real
as
life.
NASA and other federal agencies like the US Air Force.
We are on track to be able to provide NASA lunar lander capabilities, landing on the moon.
I think it's safe to go here now.
Timeframe
Is
will
there?
typically be launched in early
Is it safe to
2020.
go here now? I don't know. It is, so we'll just do a quick. I should do a quick save button because I'm saving a lot recently.
Firefly has
Three
restructured
bindings.
and rebuilt its
save.
organization from the ground up. But the question remains,
That's a lot of
will it remain
shortcuts.
competitive when it comes
Light
to price?
banner.
We currently have a backlog of about $1.3
Press
billion
quick save.
and a pipeline of over $3.5 billion
Speed up game,
for our
pause
launch
game.
services alone.
If we
This
fly
even
according
exists.
to our projected flight rates, we expect to be cash flow
Okay, I
positive
mean,
at the end.
I'm grateful with all the
We're very
the key
conscious
the quick key binds and
that
stuff, but
that's
this
what
is too
one of the
much.
fundamental tenets of
What the fuck?
So Firefly will try to be
I
competitive.
don't even see
with
the
anyone,
quick
and
save
we
here.
take all
Does it even
competition
exist?
seriously.
That competition comes not only from other small
There's
and
no quick
medium
save
launch
button, is there?
companies, but large ones as well, like SpaceX, who announced a
I
small
don't think there
sat
is.
solution priced as low as $1 million for payloads up to 150 kilograms.
Which equates to approximately $15,000 per
Okay, wait. So what did I? Oh, technology-wise, what are we working on? Bioengineering, subsurface, etc.
As the Firefly unit
That's why your computer is full with data and you keep saving.
Firefly
What?
believes they can
I don't
provide
save my
that
games.
Elon Musk's space giant cannot.
Unlike
Wait.
SpaceX, where those satellites
We've
will be
analyzed
one of
material
many,
from the
quite possibly
anomaly,
one of 60,
and it
our
completely
partners
validates our
will have the
hypothesis
same unit
on
economics,
abiogenec
but will have
petroleum.
Get
much more
money
custom,
or get polymerization
dedicated
experiment.
offering
We're gonna get
one of
physics,
4
so I can get my
five
base
satellites in our
defense
fairing.
Rideshare is
quicker.
not the best.
I just have to work my way
opportunity
there.
for a
though.
lot of small satellite customers. In some ways, it's like hitchhiking. You don't
Let's
get
change
to go
it to
exactly
com.
where you want to go, and
Please.
you don't get to go
I
on
just
a
wanna make
time
it
schedule.
money.
And that's important to a lot of customers.
In 5 years' time, Firefly plans to not just be launching a
Seriously
rocket,
though, what do I
but
put
a
here
family of
technically?
rockets.
Like, I will convert this
Consider
soon
building
into a natural
multi-billion
base, but
dollar
for now,
business.
maybe not.
And in order to do that, we know that we need to be
But did I not get them all
Whatever
yet?
the market
I have
is,
not.
not dissimilar
What's my
to
status with
what
America?
we're doing today.
And one of those competitors
52.
is in Long Beach, California. Virgin Orbit is an offshoot of Richard Branson's
Again, for those people who are wondering, if this status becomes excellent, you'll gain new technology. Right now, I'm trying to gain, a relationship with United States so I can get a new technology from them, which is basically the capitalism of Mars Miracle.
Galactic Space Company, and while they're a medium-sized launch company just like Firefly and Rocket Lab, their approach to getting a rocket into orbit is a bit different.
Virgin Orbit is a dedicated small satellite launch vehicle that is seeking to revolutionize the small
What's
satellite market.
prawns?
We're utilizing
It's
our
porn,
launch pad.
but
It's a Boeing
it's
747-400
family version.
aircraft that we modified, and it has an attached rocket under the left wing of the plane. It's a two-stage rocket, liquid oxygen.
Okay, we should just actually start going here, I think.
And has many successes.
Let's send him here,
Some of
but I
those
need
other
to
successes are by their
get
sister
some
company
resources
Virgin
though.
Galactic, who has used this launch pad drop
So?
technology for space tourism instead of small satellites, which they believe is a difference maker in the industry.
Everything we built around the air launch system is meant to mitigate against long-term delays. For example, an air launch system can fly in most weather conditions.
So we need
because we're air launch, our
metal
cadence is very
and
quick.
electronics.
So it only takes 4 to 6 hours to really fuel the rocket, attach to the plane, and take off on a mission. And having that flexibility, having that quick cadence turnaround time is critical to making sure that payloads can get to orbit when they want to get there.
I already forgot.
That flexibility is what most small launch
Metal
companies hope will
electronics.
set them apart.
That responsive, rapid launch to exactly where you want to go, that appeals to government users. Government missions, scientific missions, government military missions, government intelligence missions are all exploring
that should be
the
enough.
potential for
And we're gonna get
small launch vehicles
some
that can
metal.
do exactly what they need.
And without even having a successful full-duration test launch, Virgin
There we
Orbit
go. Stop.
already has a backlog of customers.
Of course, we see the market expanding. There's a lot of
That should be
potential
it.
out there. So we certainly could see ourselves providing even more launch support than between 20 and 24 a year. And of course, that is a more mid to long-term goal.
Ignition.
The future for companies like Rocket Lab, Firefly and Virgin Orbit looks promising. But what about the hundreds of smaller launch companies out there?
Only the Philippines?
Survive?
Nah.
Probably not. There's not enough demand for 100 and some odd rockets.
I might have to get another
We absolutely
base
believe that
thingy.
the window to invest in launch has
I don't have
already
access
closed.
to it at the
There are some investors who made some
Sector
early good
scan.
plays here
Anomaly
that are
found.
going to work out very well, but at this point the industry is well past that kind of venture capital investment stage, in our opinion. So we see it shaking out to maybe 10 companies surviving.
The launch industry is unforgiving. It's not very tolerant of failures.
So, how good are you at this? I don't know.
I wish to express my deepest apologies
I am playing
to
in
our customers
410
for
difficulty.
the loss of their payload.
With mods, of course. But the mods are not too OP.
I am.
I made it so that at least I need
A bad run of luck.
to do something to gain the mods. Like, build a good relationship with the other colonies so I can gain the new mods. So that's one of the things to balance it out.
Challenges are
Coffee break?
struggling.
Yes, coffee break. I'll get my coffee. I'll be
Confidence
back.
that it requires to conduct operations in space is intimidating.
The launch industry has an energized, passionate collection of engineers, venture investors and designers, singularly focused on moving
Yeah,
private
B.
enterprise off the planet. It's not just a new industry, but a new way of seeing the
Oh
world
god,
and
my
looking above it.
live
Once you
stream
have
was
that
actually
access
eating
to
up.
space,
Wait.
now you have entirely new business
second.
models that closed that didn't before. You have
I didn't realize
entirely new
this,
use
but my
cases
live
for space as
stream,
an environment.
my
You
YouTube
have
is
an
actually in
entire
maximum.
ecosystem
That's
of
why
support
the
services that are
the
developed
frames are
to
actually not
support
going
those
down. That's
satellites
weird.
that are
Whatever.
being launched in the next
Yummy.
5 to 7 years. And so that has kind of unlimited amount of economic development, economic growth possibility there.
I kind of liken where we are right now to the very first beginnings of the internet, where we were just starting to send emails. That's really where we are in space. We're just starting to send emails. And if you go back when you just started sending emails, and if I said to you all of the stuff that was going to occur because of the internet, you wouldn't believe me, right? You would think that's just crazy. But that's where I think we're at right now, is we've sent our first email, and now space has opened up to innovators to really try new things.
That's why perfecting the world of launch is just the beginning. Rockets aren't just providing a platform for spaceflight, but a platform for innovation. As we figure out the business of how we get to space, the next problem is, where do we stay? On the next episode of Giant Leap, the International Space Station is nearing its retirement, and NASA wants to open the door for commercial companies to develop the technology and the business to create our next space habitats.
Earth's view. Sounds far-fetched at the moment, doesn't it? But you know, we may be seeing ads like this in the not-too-distant future.
Living away from Earth has always captured our imagination. As well as providing the basics for survival, these ideas are a symbol of humankind's unique creativity and ambition.
This advanced base, or space station, will be headquarters for the final ascent to the moon.
Today, the idea of multiple outposts where we can live and work in space has never seemed closer.
We're gonna fly. It's about making our lives the best we can make it. It's about, as a species, having a path for our future.
And the mission to create these habitats is well underway as private companies get ready to take that next
I have to lower
giant leap.
the PP. What PP? What the fuck do you call it? Yeah, whatever. PP. Whatever. Okay, so
The International Space
need to figure out what to
Station.
do here.
It's the only space habitat we have.
I want to set up like another
One of the
base
first
here
places
so I
they
can
take you in
expand
ISS
this.
is
For now, I'll have to leave it
so you can
alone.
finally look at the
And
Earth
there's a tornado
and
right
all its
now.
beauty. And I don't care who you are, it's always stunning, it's
disappeared.
shocking,
Oh.
it's amazing because that's the view you've been waiting for your entire life.
It passes over 90% of the world's population without most of us ever realizing. And at an estimated cost of $150 billion, it's the most expensive
This is gonna be a
object
little
we've
bit
ever
more
built.
difficult.
You think about like the Sistine Chapel, the pyramids, and
Up here,
Burj
then.
Khalifa, or take your pick. I mean, it far outstrips those. It's the one and only non-terrestrial human outpost. We've had a constant human footprint in orbit for almost 20 years because of the International Space Station.
The collaboration between
Anomaly
15 countries
analyzed.
started construction in 1998 and was pieced together
We're gonna
in
set up.
space
We're gonna
over
clean
the
this
course
place
of
up a little
decade.
bit so I can start
Since
a
2000, it's been a permanently
base
crewed
here.
research laboratory.
The question is though, do I
space
set
habitat
up
that's
a
allowed
microdome
humankind to
or a
live,
basic dome?
manufacture and explore beyond Earth.
And that can
The
work, I guess.
overarching achievement of the space
Or
station
do I want to
has
go
been
small first?
education.
And work
It
my
has
way up from
educated
there.
us about
I
how
don't
to
know.
do research. It's educated us about how to live. It's educated us about
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go microdome
the
first
harshness
and make
of the
people's lives
environment
miserable on
that it is
purpose.
in, and
Just because I can.
it's about learning, I think.
People say what was one of your favorite parts about being up there? Hands down, floating everywhere I went. But your first impressions for ISS certainly is, it's how big it is.
The ISS is the size of an American football field, with most of that footprint taken up by 8 solar arrays. These provide enough energy to power 40 homes. The station has an American
Gonna put
side
up
and
some
a Russian
marshes over
side,
here.
as well as contributions from other nations.
It's like
Canada,
miserable on
Japan,
purpose. I
and
don't know
the
why I keep
European
doing
Union.
this.
Astronauts
I mean, I
on
have
board
better
can
buildings
fly freely
already, but I
between
want to do
these
this on
sections.
purpose.
Their living and working
This
areas
is to
are
make
made
their
up
lives
of
more
modules,
miserable.
each
It's okay.
4.2 meters in diameter, and in total, they have the same volume as the
We need
Boeing
concrete.
747. The 3 main labs, Destiny, Hope, and Columbus, are conducting up to 600 ongoing
Oh,
experiments.
we gained some new technology.
And while
Automatic
it's been a
metal extractor.
collaboration
That's
between
nice. That's gonna help
governments
me.
to build and maintain the ISS, its
There's
next
Coffee Boy.
chapter
Still working
will
on
be
it.
more on private
I'm gonna wait
enterprise.
for it to be done.
Today is a very remarkable day. NASA is opening the International Space Station to commercial opportunities and marketing these opportunities as
gonna
we've
do
never done
this.
before.
Managing and maintaining the ISS costs $3.4 billion
Of course, some
a
research.
year.
Actually, no, we have a
That's
lot.
over half
We can do
NASA's
this.
space operations budget. Aging hardware and space debris will only add to these costs.
Okay,
which is
one thing
why
I need
NASA
here
is now hoping
is
to
the
pass
new
some
lab.
responsibility
Don't
for
have
the
it yet.
station over to commercial companies.
We would like to see a robust commercial marketplace in low Earth orbit where space stations exist outside of NASA. The goal being that NASA could be a customer, and we want to have numerous providers that are competing against each other on cost and innovation.
With federal funding proposed to stop in 2025,
That's all the scientists I can get.
opening the station to private enterprise would
That
free up
will work,
resources
but we'll
the
save it for
space
later,
agency's
actually.
ambitions to
Do
return
you
to
know
the
cultured
moon
milk?
and
Yeah.
journey to Mars.
Transferring to a more
Oh, shit, here.
commercial model is allowing industry
I'm gonna
to
turn
take
this off.
over many of those areas that NASA has
Alright,
traditionally
at the moment this has
been responsible
nothing to do at the
for, like
moment, so I'll just
design
turn this into
and
something like a
operation
garden or
and
some shit.
maintenance of
Or
space
school.
systems.
I don't know.
But the most exciting part, I think, is new opportunities. The iPhones would have never come from the government, for instance. The base technology came from the government, but the way it's used, the way it interacts with consumers, governments aren't really built for that. So I think that'll be exciting to see.
Oh, I can
how
already set
private
one up
industry
here
uses
too.
the same
Interesting.
technology or the same system.
You can get so
but
many
use it in a
metals
different way.
Sector
by doing
scan.
this.
Every NASA achievement has been the collaborative achievement of NASA and industry. What's going on right now that's a little bit different is NASA is turning to companies not to direct them what to do, but it's turning to companies to build relationships with them because those companies are attracting investment from non-space sources and are bringing a different kind of innovation to the table.
Drone hub. Wait, I think I have.
In the shadow of NASA's
I should
Bourne
have some
Johnson
water.
Space
No,
Center,
I used
the
up all of them.
headquarters of startup Axiom Space might seem a little modest, but their goal is big: to build the
Drone
first
hub,
commercial space station.
Moisturized
Led by
vapor
a former
thingy.
ISS program manager,
Fuel
the team has
refinery, I
been
think,
involved in every
separately
mission
from
to the
this one.
station since its
I don't know.
inception.
Gotta think about this.
We know
no,
it
I'm not
has
gonna
to
do
be
it.
much lower cost to operate on orbit than ISS is
Generator.
today. So this is key to continuing the heritage of ISS, is to start there so we can evolve everybody to the next platform. I liken this to the internet. So the internet was created and we got very excited, and any kid
Maybe
with
just
a good
one
idea
more.
and just the basic programming
I
skills
don't
could go
know.
build a program to do something. We have huge companies that grew out of that, and still
Maybe
today
need more
there's
drones.
new ideas, new things being built. The thing about
drones.
a
And my
microgravity
money.
environment is it's limitless. It's like the data we have access to on the internet. It is limitless, and it is not immediately
Do you
obvious
range?
to us. All the
Not
benefits
really.
that
If I
those
do
things
range,
entail,
I don't really
but
make a
over
big
time,
deal
it
out
will
of the
become
range.
Very, very obvious.
Like some people would just flip the hell out on, especially if there's a camera on them. But me, even if there's a camera, I'm like, ah shit. That's pretty much it.
This will be followed by crew quarters for 16 people and research and manufacturing modules. When the ISS is
Need to
retired,
set the
this
water
will break
supply
away,
here.
and additional
Or just
modules
rely
with
on
a
the
lifespan
whatever.
of 30 years will be added and swapped out as they age using a robotic arm. And they're hoping to do all of this for 1/50th.
We're gonna grab some
the cost of
resources
the
here.
ISS.
I mean, when you talk about our vision, it sounds really simple. It really is about driving the thought
Get some
process
resources,
and
transport
the
it,
cost
etc. everywhere.
down so that anybody that
before anything
wants
else, let me
to
just
take
drop it.
advantage of our place in orbit and a microgravity environment can do so. And that's really it.
Okay, Ellen, I need to go towards my speed.
The International Space Station is a fantastic
I
vehicle,
might just
but one of the
go
big
to a
things
different
is they have
site
quite a
or
few,
just do whatever. YouTube really isn't
major
really a big
components
deal, to be
outside,
honest.
which means you have
It's not
to
really
do
a
an
main
EVA,
thing to
a
worry
spacewalk
at
to
all.
go fix it. A spacewalk
I mean, if
on
I'm
a good
serious about
day is
YouTube, I should not
$100
be
per
playing
time
this. I
to
should
get
be playing
ready and
something
actually
else,
go do
like
the
Fortnite.
spacewalk, so we're able to take advantage of the reduced size of components. And so our design is going to have all of the components are going to be in the pressure.
This game is too niche for everyone.
So we know what the basics are, you know, water, food, clothing.
Oh, okay, we
life
need this
support,
one.
and we know how to handle those. But now the next step is how do we make it more
Buy some
intuitive?
technology.
And we want to now take
Can't even-
advantage of the technologies and the capabilities we have today. To
Should
build
I just
more
make the
luxury
big
into
dome
the
now?
experience. The objective is to make the environment the
There are
background for
Shut
all
the
things
fuck
that
up.
you're every day doing
Don't be
whatever
lazy.
you want to do on orbit. Research,
Available building, gaming.
looking out the window,
See?
whatever you're there to do, we want you to be able to do that and not even think about the environment. And it's because
Actually, now I think
so much
about it.
experience
Yeah,
on
here's the
ISS
dining
and
area.
what
You
the
should
team
be able to
brings
eat
to
there.
Axiom
Just you guys
Space,
just
we're
can't
able to
eat.
build that environment. You won't worry about that.
3, 2,
We have a lot of food,
1.
but I
Release,
can't
release,
eat it.
release.
Like Virgin Galactic and Blue Origin, Axiom is hoping to attract space tourists with tickets starting at $55 million for a 10-day mission. But that's just one part of the commercial space station market.
Okay,
that
United
they think could be worth
States
$37 billion
offer
over the next decade.
concrete.
Our first commercial customers are countries who have astronauts in space and want to expand their activity in space, and countries who do not yet
An
have
improved
a human
relation
spaceflight
with
program who want to
whom?
send people up. And we've now got both research and manufacturing companies who want to do work with us while we're at the International Space Station and on our platform after it separates from ISS.
Yeah. Calling
Human
your-
spaceflight is particularly exciting because it's that slice of space that is really
We
NASA.
have 50.
It hasn't undergone
We have 100 actually,
the
so let's just do
crowding
that.
satellites have had. It hasn't already had that
Colonists
explosive
If my
growth.
PC dies, I'll just have to
Ready
buy a
for
new
it.
one. I have the money, so yeah.
The first thing I'm really looking forward to seeing happen is the face of our first astronaut on orbit looking back down. Knowing that we had a hand in sending that person to space.
I need...
Ultimately, the separation of
What do I need again?
when it's
Shit.
ready to be retired and deorbited, and then we continue in space
I need machine
independently.
parts. Yes,
For
I need
me,
more
that
machine
is a stepping off moment for
And
humanity. It's almost
polymers.
like when Neil Armstrong
Resources.
put that first boot on the moon. This will be the first time that we've gone from a platform of learning how to live in space to building our permanent home in space.
That should be
Use the ISS as the starting point for their own ventures. Bigelow Aerospace already has one of its inflatable structures attached to the station, and others, including Sierra Nevada and NanoRacks, have put forward proposals.
Space habitats are expensive. I think it's a false dichotomy to say, okay, we're done with the International Space Station, let's move on to commercial platforms. What I think is much more likely and realistic, and what NASA is certainly driving toward, is an incremental transition where commercial platforms attached to the space station will work collaboratively with the space station. The next chapter cannot occur without the active engagement of companies.
That should be it.
That said, that active
I need more
engagement
concrete,
might
but that
not
should be
be
it.
as customers, might not be as drivers, it might be
Oh god,
in
this is storm.
service of
Oh, stop! Ah,
government.
fuck me! I didn't want that to
We will
happen.
return American astronauts
God damn
to
it.
the moon, not only to leave
No,
behind
it
footprints
wanna
and
happen.
flags, but to build the foundation we need to
This
send
place sucks.
Americans to Mars.
Great dust storm.
Oh god damn it.
This proposed
Man,
mission,
boy.
along with SpaceX's own ambition to reach the red planet, has opened up a
Okay,
long-term
how do we solve
market.
this problem?
Some
Because,
companies
you
are
know,
already
that's
thinking
the guy in charge of doing
satellite
all of this, so he
space
can't really do
stations
anything
to
right
actually
now.
building on the surface of other
Why
planets.
did no one tell me?
I was working in a firm designing skyscrapers, and I saw Elon, and he landed his Falcon X rocket
Space
in the middle of
Bear.
the ocean, and that for me was a trigger.
Bear,
I
space.
thought, wow, this could
Ah,
actually
shit.
happen, and it's always been my dream to put a building on the moon or Mars. And if he's going at the pace he's going,
And yeah, some
it could
scientists up
definitely
there.
happen within my lifetime,
Bots.
and I want to be the one to
Research. Should be fun.
In this warehouse,
Scientists.
alongside startups from across the
Binary.
US, architecture firm AI Space Factory are
Let's
refining
try
the
Project
production of
Shape, whatever the
Marsha,
fuck that is.
a four-story structure they created for a NASA competition to design the next generation of space
Sector
habitats
scan.
on Mars.
When we started designing our Mars habitat,
Give me a second, I'm
Marsha,
gonna
we
need to
looked
get
at
my
everything that had been done already and kind
coffee.
of tossed that aside. But what we were given was a set of guidelines from NASA. They think the best way to build a habitat on Mars or the Moon is to use what
Yeah,
we call in situ resource utilization. So use the materials that are there. If you've seen sci-fi movies, you might see like glass and steel domes on distant planets, but the reality is to ship that kind of material to the Moon or Mars would be so exorbitant expensive you would never be able to build in the first place. So the idea is to send a 3D printing robot which can then harvest the materials you find on the site and build with that.
The reusable print material is a mix of biopolymer made from recycled plastic or plants like corn and sugarcane, and basalt, a rock found on Mars and Earth.
It's the rock that gives us its incredible strength. We've tested this material. It's 3 times as strong as concrete in compression, and it actually has what we call a tensile capacity to prevent itself from being pulled apart, which is something concrete's not very good at. You need to think at all times how do you optimize the amount of material that you use, and that's also why this thing is shaped like an egg. And if you think of an egg, it's
Hey, look, they're talking about Marsha.
It's formed. It's very, very thin.
I like Marsha.
But it provides the strength that
Ow,
it
ow,
needs.
ow, ow.
And that's why this is shaped the way that it is.
The egg shape, as well as the nested shell structure, also accommodates for extreme differences in pressure and temperature on the surface of Mars. But
What
more
do we
research
fix that
still
thing?
needs to be done.
I think I
to
need
find out how print
a
materials
recharging
could be
stone.
gathered and
A
just how
zoom.
3D printing would work in a unique environment.
Or I
in
can just try
space.
and just send one.
You're dealing with a completely
Fully charged,
different
right?
set of
What you're
physics
doing.
and environments, which
Let's see if
is
you can
very
drive all the way over here.
The cold, the low gravity.
Let's see if this thing survives.
The vacuum of space, and finding
Research
solutions for
complete.
how.
Ah, little
They'll
bastard.
do anything in space.
You can make it.
Requires
Yes, my
a
coffee's
high
here.
degree of
There are
innovation.
Earth-sick
There's no such
Shut the
thing
fuck
as
up to all
brute
the people.
force when it comes to space. Like you need to think about the
Come on,
problem,
tiny boy. You
find
can
a
make
very
it.
elegant,
I believe in you.
cost-effective
It's likely not. We may have to make light
and
charging
the challenge is
stations
really going
on the
to
way.
places on Earth.
And the
Really
solar
taking the
panel.
dirt that we're finding on a site and beginning to print with the dirt. We have to
What is
perfect
this?
this technology on Earth, and then we go prove it out on the Moon, and then finally onto Mars.
Futurists, I've read the sci-fi and some of
First
this.
customers
Discount the
could
tech.
include NASA
Interesting.
and companies like SpaceX, who would lease
Okay,
out
whatever.
these structures for individual missions.
Get back at
That,
one.
Space Factory hoped their technology could be monetized
Yeah,
as
pretty
well
much.
as transformational here on Earth.
The challenges of building on Mars.
I swear, if this thing turns around, I'm gonna fucking scrap this thing. Nah, I need you. I can stay mad at you. Please make it. I need you.
Very energy intensive.
You can make it.
To go to a site.
Please. I genuinely need you to work.
Allow our 3D printer to print in the most sustainable way possible. And we never would have found these ways if it wasn't for the challenge of
Don't
building
fucking
in space.
give up.
No active research.
Don't give up.
Anomaly
I need you so bad.
ignition.
What is decipher the secret contents of the strange message discovered in the dream. This might be the mission. I'm not gonna do this at the moment. That might kill me.
Humans have now been consistently living and working in
Coldwave,
space for more than 50
I don't know,
years.
it's just the
If we
meteorite.
want to keep that up, what do habitats need to look
Automated
like? And
mode
frankly, they can be
activate.
large or they can be small, but the future of space habitats
Make
really,
it
to
or
me,
you
comes
not.
down to
We'll have
the
to see.
ability to persistently maintain human presence. Whether that's a few people or many people, that seems to be the dividing line between where we were before and where we want to be in the future.
Oh my god, that's so small.
Benefit from what we
Please
do
don't
on
turn
Earth
back. For the
and
love of
bring
God,
those
don't
natural
turn back.
benefits back home, so we help ourselves
You're a
out
trooper.
from the ground while
You
we
will make
also
it.
learn to live somewhere else.
Promise
And it
me
really,
you will be born.
at the very deepest
Colonists
level
are
is
departing.
about
Shut the fuck
survival
up.
of our species. So I get pretty
Yeah.
excited when I
Don't fucking
spend a
give
few
up.
moments thinking about what we're
Never
also going to
surrender.
do, because this really is the first
Please.
step to learning
Oh,
how to
hurry the fuck up.
the planet.
That first step is just the start of our journey to create a lasting legacy in space.
You did it! Yay!
May be stepping in to imagine what these new space
Yeah.
habitats look like.
You work
Is
with
what's
me now.
happening inside of them that may unlock the future of space
Yes.
industrialization.
Work
On the
with
next
me
episode
now.
of Giant Leap, we'll visit
Nice.
the private companies who are looking to build their
Oh
business
god, that's another
and
tornado.
manufacturing
Run,
in
little
space.
buddies!
Using the
Run!
unique properties of microgravity,
Leave the
they
others.
plan to create new materials with
Leave the
extraordinary
others.
qualities that can't be
Run!
replicated on Earth.
Run! What's wrong with you? Run!
Manufacturing techniques that could change how we build
Run!
structures
You
in
fucking
space,
assholes, run!
and even unlock the ability
We'll
to
wait
3D
for the
print
tornadoes to
human
go
organs.
bye-bye.
But before low Earth orbit can become a new industrial center, we're going to need to
Oh
take
god damn it,
giant
great dust storm. Did I set this up? Hopefully I did. Maximize water production.
Sector scan.
And we have no more everything. And there's a meteorite going. Don't hit! I'm turning this place off. If anyone's working here, you're fired for now. This is just, you know. Yeah, true.
Building new things has led to some of humanity's biggest leaps forward.
Oh
We made
shit,
tools,
not the actual
forged new
home.
materials, and learned to produce them for millions.
That's close.
And then
No active
billions.
research.
With every
Research.
new
They accidentally
innovation
made life on
comes
Mars.
new
I didn't mean to
industries,
do-
new
whatever.
economies, new challenges.
Drone,
We're always
drone hubs,
looking
we need
for
this.
what comes next.
And then maybe this way. It's so fucking hot.
The
Man,
industrialization
it's so
of
hot,
space,
boys.
I think, will be one of the great economic booms of this century.
Space offers a whole new environment to create things we can't make on Earth.
Gravity in general.
Yeah, I don't
is
think there's the
something that we all just
tornadoes, so
take
we might
for
be able to
granted.
get
It's just
out.
always here. It affects everything. What becomes interesting is what happens when you take that away.
Private companies are creating new materials, 3D printing tools,
You
even living
got
tissue,
blown up.
and
You can go
developing the
automatic now, I
technology
think.
to build entire factories in space.
Don't hit my base,
If
please. I
successful,
need this.
for-profit manufacturing could lead to a new gold rush,
Meteor incoming.
launching the business of space to its next giant leap.
Yeah, we're starting to set up the research area, which is
Elon
what I
Musk,
want.
Anomaly
Richard Branson,
found.
Jeff Bezos, and many
Meteor
other
incoming.
Yeah, we need to set up
industrialists
the
that
power supply. How do we do that though?
to go up there, but there has to be a why.
There has to
There
be a power supply here.
reason to go
Oh,
to space.
advanced
We want to see
generator
a very
maybe?
robust commercial
I can
marketplace
definitely
in
do
space.
that.
But the other thing that we have to do is
Yeah, we'll
we
set
have
it
to
up.
prove. We have to prove the industries that ultimately are going to be able to take advantage of the microgravity environment of space.
In space, we're opening the way to private enterprise.
Since the 1980s, companies have been investigating the unique properties of microgravity, yielding major breakthroughs in the areas of biomedicine and advanced materials research. And now some are looking to start production.
Manufacturing in space has at its core the following idea. This extraordinary environment with a completely different set of environmental
What would I do if I
can
became the
enable you
last person on Earth?
manufacture
I guess
things that you
what the
couldn't
first thing I would do
manufacture
is
on
I would
Earth
fap
that
on
have
anything
value.
that is not allowed. Just kidding. Obviously I'm gonna try and figure out how to survive first. That's the boring part.
Economy, right? We take raw materials,
Everything else,
we turn it into steel, and we sell that steel for profit.
I guess I'll just play all the video games I
Ways
can
of
play.
making things is
Not
historically the
really, like.
makings of economic
Alright, so if let's just say that I get everything set up, like all the survival preparation, what shit. The colony standing right now is pretty
In July of
good.
2019,
Treasure the Ark,
SpaceX's
International Space Station,
CRS-18 launched with over a dozen new research projects, including investigations
set up the power
being
supply
conducted
here.
by
What am I
Goodyear
missing?
and Adidas.
Concrete!
Companies hope
I'm
that
running out of
studying their
concrete. I
products
need
in
power.
microgravity
I'm gonna have to
could
make a
unlock
shitty
new
power supply
opportunities.
first.
Also aboard the mission is a biomaterial 3D
Isn't it this
printer,
one correct?
and
This
with
should
it,
be that.
the chance to print whole human organs.
So this, so we can do this. Be enough concrete. Right? Is there not? Lost some drones.
Spark BFF on side 4.
Go ahead.
So you were working with DMC to go ahead and get our command window open a little early, correct?
C, load G.
Yes, bandwidth is available.
Electronics factory, polymer area.
Okay, so I'm
I'll just do that for
punching where the
now.
numbers are and making sure they're to the hard stop.
No, I'll make a farm.
Christina,
And then I'll have livestock. And then every time I'm about to kill the livestock, I'm gonna fuck it. What the? No, I'm not gonna do. What's wrong with
You want to start by opening up the cassette kit?
You should be able to make the. Oh yeah, this requires polymers.
And the team at TechShot
What if I just make a
prepping their
dome
initial
made
printing
pure
run for the
polymer?
newly arrived
What if I just do this
biofabrication
right away?
facility,
You
or
know what, Marsha
BFF,
can
fueled by
eat it
coffee
for now.
and the type
Let's
of
do a
food you
normal
might expect
dome.
to find at 3 a.m. The team is working directly with astronauts aboard the ISS, all from the comfort of TechShot headquarters, located just outside
Should be
Louisville,
within range.
Kentucky.
Now we want to double check that the smart pumps are in the up position.
There you go. This should be
We're going
enough.
to be sliding the cassette in, and we just don't want to bump them with
We'll
the cassette.
turn it off for now.
That looks great.
So we can
we are
stay,
good
but
to
they
put
should
the
be
controller
ready
back
to
on.
go.
Okay, copy that.
We'll be able
Maybe
to
the
do
science
some
area.
printing.
You do all science in here.
From the outside, the BFF doesn't look that much different to traditional
There you go.
3D
We're now getting the
printers.
concrete we needed.
Inside, these small
We can start colonizing this part of the place.
And for the company,
Meanwhile, I still wanna colonize this icy area. It's gonna be hard though, but I wanna do that at some point. You know, never know.
No active research. Research
But-
complete.
Currently, there's over 113,000 people on the organ donation list, and
We
22
get some
people are
grant
dying
here.
every day
Oh, no, actually.
because there's not an organ available. BFF has that long-term potential.
In
to
parts.
someday
Do I need a polymer
maybe be able
station?
to provide some
No,
hope
I
and a
think
cure
I
for
need
some
a.
of those people.
This is John Vellinger, the CEO of TechShot,
Air
a company
batteries.
he co-founded over 30 years ago. While his latest project
Oh
is
yeah, I
succeeding
need to
in
set up
initial
my.
test
Yeah,
prints,
we're gonna set this
the
one
BFF
first.
has a
No
long way to
active
go
research.
2000,
towards
3000.
printing anything as complex as a human liver.
We need
or
to improve
heart.
our
TechShot's
engineering,
demonstrating
robotics. I
the
mean,
BFF technology with this current
No
flight,
active
and we
so we
research.
can
anticipate being
get
able to
the other
print
resource that I need.
organs and structures
Technology,
might
I mean.
be 5 to 10 years out.
Bioprinters have been on Earth for over a decade and can print things like ear and nose cartilage that are living tissue. But for complex systems like organs,
How
the
can
difficulty
you
has been
bring
printing the
the
vascular
sun to the
network
icy
within
area
the
if
tissue itself?
nothing
Without
can
vascular
survive,
tissue
you
to
know,
distribute
holding,
needed
grappling the damn
nutrients,
thing?
Any printed cells would
How did
die
it
off
survive,
well
man?
before they could be used.
Resource here.
And TechShot believes that gravity is a big part of the
I have to remove
challenge.
this now.
Sector scanned.
So let's just
Tiny
say
depot.
that you want to create something that has one layer
Like
of
a tiny
cells, then
depot.
on top of that, a different layer of cells, and on top of that,
I should be able
a
to
third
make
layer
this
of
now.
cells.
Yes, I can.
So one way that you could do that would be to just
I'll do
print one
this.
cell in a layer, and then your second layer with another type of cell, and then your third layer with another type of cell. But depending on those materials, over a short period of time, those cells may not stay in those layers.
I need to get the
settle
water.
out and then end up combining.
So I'm gonna have to do this one.
Resources are low.
I know I'm running out of oxygen, but we all believe in ourselves. We'll be able to survive.
And that is because in a gravity environment, everything wants to just squirt out and wet out and spread out.
No
In a
getting
microgravity
coffee.
environment, you don't have to worry about any of that.
Get water
So
over
you have
here,
a
but I don't think that's
much
necessary
wider
actually.
range of materials that you can print.
Actually, yeah, I don't actually need
To combat
that.
the effects of gravity
I don't
on
actually
Earth,
need that. I don't need that.
researchers have used scaffolded
Fuck
structures
that.
in
We'll
order to
just
support
get
the
more
growing
space
cells.
to try and make me
The
build
problem
base.
is a lot of ways that is accomplished isn't necessarily the best for biology. It can limit the types of materials that you can use, and it can also limit the types of cells that can really thrive in that environment. In microgravity, you wouldn't necessarily have to do that. You could have your different layers or areas or sections of different types of cells and put them next to each other, and there are no other forces.
I wants to
that are
trade.
gonna
Finally,
cause
someone
them
wants to
mix.
trade.
So you have this
I
opportunity.
need more
to
oxygen
be able to
storage.
make these
Which
small
doggo?
regions
Yeah.
in 3 dimensions in a different type of way, a different type of structure that would be very difficult.
So we got
to
everything
photograph.
working now.
Microgravity-enabled bioprinting
This
still
means
has
the
numerous
commander can
hurdles
now
to
leave
cross
and let
before it
them
can
do the
produce a
work.
product for sale. Only now that the printer is operating aboard the ISS can researchers begin to understand the correct materials and
Storm's
process
gonna end in
necessary
10
not
hours.
only to print organs, but to
This
culture
guy's
and
still
preserve
having a
them
hard
long
time
enough
living
to
here.
return back to
Gonna do
Earth.
that.
But all that time and research.
Oh my god,
is
one of them
part
is already
TechShot's
old.
plan.
This guy's enjoying his time here. What the fuck? How is this even possible? Oh, I see. He's a nerd.
New technologies. Then if we feel like that technology has potential, commercial potential, we spin that off into a different company or to a different group.
They liken their business to Levi Strauss in the
Get some B-boy.
1800s. During the gold rush,
Yeah, let's
Levi
just
Strauss
launch
started
them.
out by providing canvas material
Yeah.
for tents and
I know what
wagons.
you're doing.
And when those miners needed a more durable fabric, the now iconic blue jeans were born.
The business model of selling pickaxes as opposed to going out and panning for gold really certainly applies to space, and there are many companies at the component
set up
level
all the other
that
stuff
are
to
providing products
survive.
and services to launch
Like
companies,
oxygen
to
production,
satellite
maybe.
operators,
I
to
think that's an
NASA.
important resource.
One of the challenges in
I
that
just
business
think
model
it's
is you need a
important.
goal.
So, saying.
It's not clear that 3D printed organs could set off any kind of a gold rush to space, so in order to stay in business, TechShot needs to have other projects, making sure it doesn't keep all of its eggs in one satellite.
This is my science fair project. that I
Moxie's
started
having
in
a problem.
8th grade.
I'll use my
The
inventor
whole experiment was
abilities
to
to
see
fix
how the
that.
chicken embryo develop in space without the presence of gravity. This science project.
Okay, Storm should be done now. Oh god, what are they working on? This one? Nah, man, we're gonna send in
Imagine this
Mars
chicken
one
egg
for
in the
that.
back of the barnyard. Gravity is causing the yolk to
I'm
fall
a
to the bottom
pretty. Let's
yet.
fly.
The hen has
Oh, I've
natural
got
instinct
fly.
to turn that
Are
into
you not
an
flying?
egg. Therefore, the yolk will go back up to the top, and gravity pulls it back down.
Is this stuck again? I swear, if
Now
this
what
is
would
stuck,
happen to that
I'm
egg
gonna be
up in
pissed.
space?
Is this stuck?
The project
Why
was
would you be
sponsored
stuck?
by Kentucky Fried Chicken, in which their
I
worldwide
think it's stuck.
headquarters.
Oh no, why do you have to
So
do
the-
this to me?
The engineer that I worked with.
Yeah, sure, go
Marcus,
ahead if you wanna
He
leave.
and I are the ones that decided to start TechShot.
Why you got it
and
stuck?
started right
Okay,
here in
maybe
Louisville,
for
Kentucky.
that tiny rocket, it
We started
can't
in
add
a
people in it. It's
motel.
not, there's not enough space.
It was just two rooms.
There
and
are
eventually we went into
Earth-sick
4 rooms of the
colonists.
motel.
Resources
and then
are
as
low.
TechShot matured and developed and gained more projects and more opportunities, then we decided, we're in this for the long haul. And so we built a world-class research facility here that we're sitting in today.
And here, just across the street from that first motel room, TechShot is currently working on 15 active projects, creating technology for NASA, the military, and major pharmaceutical companies, all with the goal to support researchers in microgravity.
Last year was TechShot's best year in its history.
Before
And I
you
think that's
stop,
reflective
get
of
done.
the excitement of the new opportunities that are out there for space.
And if they're lucky,
Yes,
one of these
Russ.
projects could yield that catalyst of a space gold rush. But they aren't alone in this race. Another company located in Silicon Valley views making things in space as core to their mission, even down to their name.
Anyways, I have to wait again. I think this
is
just
fiber
broke, which
optic
kind of
cable.
sucks.
It works because the fiber reflects light over and over inside the structure. And even if you bend it, the light still comes through the other end. But in this application, it's nothing more than a modern-looking lava lamp. The best fiber optic cable is being used to transmit data all over the world. In fact, undersea cables carry 99% of all the data that crosses oceans. Optical fiber, usually made from silicon,
is
is
for these
important
people to
because
live
it can
in.
transmit data incredibly quickly over a long distance
maybe
before needing
apartments?
to have its signal amplified. But research done by the US Air Force in the 1990s
They will
proved
just
that
keep
it would
moving
be
them when I
possible
need
to
to, I
produce a
think.
fiber
No, I don't have enough
known as
reasons. I have
Z-band
enough reasons.
that could far exceed traditional silica
we can do
fiber. The only catch, it needs to be made in microgravity.
Z-band is an optical glass that has a transmission window. It's about 5 times wider than traditional silica glass, and it has a signal loss that's 10 to 100 times better than traditional silica glass.
Almost done with
Andrew
this one.
Rush, the CEO of Made in Space, a company
Guys,
with a mission
we'll quickly
to create
save,
a new
and
industrial
hopefully this
footprint
time the
in
rockets
space.
won't just
And
die
it
out.
sees Z-band as potentially the first material that can be made in space and sold on Earth.
So this is a preform of Z-band. It starts out as this nice dog bone cylinder, and then it gets inserted into a furnace. This gets thinner and thinner, thinner than the width of your own hair, and then you start pulling that. And so if everything works out,
that's the proper spelling
you get
of stuff,
a spool
man.
like this from our earlier test runs. Basically, it looks like fishing line.
While it is possible to produce Z-band on Earth, it's nowhere near the potential of what you can produce in microgravity.
Earth manufactured Z-band suffers from
Lie.
too many crystals in the material. Basically, what happens is when light or power
we have this made.
goes
Now
through
set
these
this up.
crystal domains, they reduce each
Wow.
time, creating a
Colonists
power
are
loss throughout
departing.
So I have to
the
leave.
length of fiber you're going through. Microgravity suppresses these formations, and doing so creates more of a monocrystalline structure. So you have all these domain drops, and you have less of a power drop over that length of fiber. You can go transatlantic and transpacific without having repeaters in the lines like traditional fiber lines do today.
You can imagine providing 5, 10, 50 times more bandwidth down the same line of fiber by using Z-band instead of silica. That you begin to scratch the surface of the economic potential of Z-band.
They estimate that a kilogram of Z-band could sell for tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, and that high price per kilogram is important when it comes to space manufacturing.
Historically, a barrier to
We're doing
doing
no prime.
commercial
No.
activity in space has been that it costs so much money to get to space, do things, and then
We need
come
power
back.
supply for this,
It
and I
can
think I have the
literally cost
solution.
Tens of thousands of dollars a kilogram.
I've
to launch
originally gained this
return.
technology
And that's why things like
from
Z-band are so
the
attractive,
international,
because we
no,
can
for the
sustainably
International
sell
Mars
them
Society,
for
so I
tens
can
of
just
thousands
add
of dollars
this.
a kilogram.
I just need to get a lot of polymers from home base, which I don't.
Created in
I
space,
need to buy them.
receiving raw material from the ground and shipping microgravity-enabled Z-band
I have no money.
back
Shit.
to Earth.
I'll
But
do it
the
later
problem
then.
is, it's all still theoretical.
And I have no power.
Made in Space has been working on Z-band for over 4 years and has flown 4 missions
Power
to
supply.
test their manufacturing techniques, with more planned in the future. But they still expect to be a few years away from producing a product
I
that
currently
can
have
be sold on
maximum
Earth,
power here,
let
so
alone
I think
scaling
this is
that
for the
to
other one.
larger industries.
It's very interesting and a little
Hey, wait a minute.
counterintuitive.
What do I do now? Shit.
The most successful
Anomaly
companies
Forgot what I
in
wanted to do.
space are the companies that consistently say, how can
Oh
I
yeah,
do this?
polymer. I need to get polymer.
There have been many products that
trade
started
here.
with the vision of actually manufacturing in
Trade,
space
trade.
and ended up with a discovery phase in space and manufacturing on Earth. And that's good news for
Wait, wait,
consumers.
mate.
That's good news for the end users of those
Wait,
products.
wait,
because
mate.
That reduces
Please.
costs.
I
You
can
don't
trade.
build your manufacturing plant
Cannot trade.
on
Wait,
the
thank
most
you.
expensive real estate you can possibly get a hold of. You build your manufacturing
machine
plant.
print.
where
Yeah,
you
this is
can
what I need.
manufacture
That's what I
economically.
need.
For Made in Space,
No
though,
active
discovering the
research.
first product that can truly be made in space is more than just profit and loss.
The
Million,
establishment of space
million, that's all the
manufacturing
money.
as a product line
Okay, charge.
is core to our
So
vision,
here's our
right?
first trading partner.
That's the
Hopefully that'll
industrialization
last.
of space. Right there. the Netscape moment
Gonna do
of low Earth orbit
Sector
commercialization.
scan.
If in our research and development for Z-Bland,
Let's
we
trade,
found
boys.
ways of
I
improving
like to
Z-Bland
trade.
that
I
we
need to
could
set up a
actually
depot.
apply terrestrially, like apply in,
Need to
in
make a
gravity
proper
field.
depot.
We would be excited about that.
I think I'll set it
You know,
up
for
here.
us, we'd take the profits from that, plow that back in, and do
Eventually,
more
though, we'll
space.
make it bigger.
And while the company is also
wants to
investigating other
trade.
materials like Z-Bland that can be produced in space,
There you go.
they've already laid the groundwork for a whole new way of thinking
This guy's a
about
scientist.
in-space
We're gonna have to move him at
manufacturing.
some point.
And they call it Archanaut.
Resources are
Up,
low.
I know.
So
Trying to
Archanaut
get
is
armor.
one of many steps toward those
Colonists
broader
are
visions.
departing.
Archanaut is more of a capability than a thing. The capability can enable
All this week,
virtually
astronauts, man.
anything you can think of in terms of structures in space. You can build large things, small things that are optimized. It doesn't really matter.
Archanaut blends robotic manufacturing with 3D printing, allowing it to create and assemble products in space. Meaning, instead of flying something, like say a satellite to space, you could create them there. But before Made in Space can use Archanaut as an in-space factory, it needs to turn its vision into a sustainable business.
There is no shortage in space of visionaries.
What I really want to try to achieve here is to make Mars seem possible.
The visionaries that we are seeing succeed are the visionaries that attach their vision to an incremental pathway.
We've been very fortunate to work closely with NASA for a number of years in developing
What the fuck?
gravity-independent manufacturing technologies. And the first one of those technologies that we really tackled was 3D printing.
International Space Station has its own 3D printer.
Okay,
and
we
look
are now
at this.
producing the polymers there.
Astronauts created
It's good
the
news.
first object to be made with it. It's a white.
I challenge you to eat veggies for one day.
The first
Never!
thing we did was a plate.
Never make
for the
me
printer.
become a veggie.
It's a NASA, it's a Made in Space.
Is it fair to say that the person in space is in marketing?
Okay, the polymers. Oh wait, I think we haven't gotten
The first,
it yet.
we actually kind of joked that the first thing we did was demonstrate that you could make like self-repairing robots in space.
To date, Made in Space has created over 200 objects aboard the
This
ISS.
trade route. God
And
damn
with
it,
a
it's
second
gonna be a
printer
long
named
time
the
to just set
additive
this up.
manufacturing facility, they were able to not only prove their technology, but turn it into a business.
We struck kind of an interesting deal with them where we actually retained ownership of the device and actually operated as a service and printed parts for NASA.
Ah, fuck you.
For other
At least I have
individuals, for companies, for schools.
At least I have a drone hub
so
now. I don't
really
have to
starting
worry,
to
I
build
guess.
almost this machine shop in space kind of business model. The approach that we take in
stretchy
space is
stretch.
that we have these really great, this really inspiring big vision. And we take that big vision and decompose that into digestible chunks, like steps like along that path toward these.
I'll make a
fantastic
temple so people.
And that
No wait,
first
we have to wait
incremental
first.
step for Archanaut is to change how we think about manufacturing satellites.
Argonaut 1 project is a free-flying satellite which will manufacture 10-meter booms. And
That
those
being the
10-meter
polymer,
booms will
hopefully.
have solar arrays on them, which allow the small sat to manufacture on the order of about a kilowatt of power.
The Archanaut 1 mission will launch in 2022. It's part of a public-private partnership with NASA, and the project aims to reduce the cost of putting
We need
satellites
proper
into
power.
orbit. While satellites have been getting smaller, if you need a satellite that will require lots of power, you'll most likely need a massive solar array. But large arrays are difficult to fit into rocket payloads, the so-called tyranny of the fairing, and it gets expensive. One way around
We
this
should have the
problem is
resource
to
now, so I'll
spend
just set
heavily
this
on
up.
engineers
This
to
should be
devise
good enough.
solutions for folding arrays into compact configurations.
That should be good enough.
Then deploy at their full size once in space. But all that work and extra weight on a rocket can add tens if not hundreds of millions of dollars to a launch cost. Archanaut gives satellite makers a new option. Include a 3D printer and robotic arm onto their existing
God, that power's
satellites,
terrible.
and let Archanaut build their very
I'm
large
not sure
solar
if it's this one or
arrays
the other
in
one.
space.
I wish it
This
has a
could
way
reduce
to,
the
you know,
cost of getting
set it up.
power-hungry satellites into
scan.
orbit.
Hey, there is, but it's gonna be
Potentially open up whole new industries to space.
eaten somewhere.
Probably the most significant factor for the financial success of a space-based or space-related business is economies of scale. The more activity there is, the more feasible it is.
Both Made in Space and NASA hopes that Archanaut will help reduce the cost of doing business in space But it's still unclear whether larger and cheaper solar arrays is the answer to finding scale in production.
A successful strategy for manufacturing in space is to demonstrate capabilities and to have adaptable capabilities that can serve different customers.
When you combine that robotic assembly and additive manufacturing, it really opens the door for customization for clients.
You know, folks may say, hey, I actually don't need that much power because of my
Oh,
mission,
shit.
but I need a
Well,
big
finally
engine,
moving out. That's
or
good.
I need a large radiator. Archinaut, because it's general, means that I can provide those services quickly and at low cost. We hope that folks
Still
see
waiting
what
for
we're
this.
doing and are inspired
Oh my
by
god, with
it
electronics.
and say, hey, this is what I need. So yeah, it'd be great if somebody came to us and said, this is the thing that we want to make. And we're like, oh my gosh, that's the killer app.
The hope for Archinaut, just like with Zeblan and organ printing, is that one of these businesses can be that spark for space industrialization.
I think once people see the potential of microgravity, I think a lot more people, a lot more commercial entities will get involved in space research, because I think it is such a unique environment. That different way of thinking leads to innovation, and so I think you see so much excitement and so much interest because the potential
Want to know my real
to
name?
come up with new
Don't care.
products, new innovations is real.
The ability to manufacture in space means that we kind of break the tyranny of the launch variant, right? And we can now make structures that are really enormous, like big structures that are on the size
We're actually
and scale
beside a
that
cold area
we're comfortable
here.
with and we interact with on Earth, you know, on a consistent basis. Larger buildings, multi-story buildings. Nothing like that exists in space, but we need to be able to make structures and spacecraft and habitats that are that size if we are
I have work tomorrow. What is this?
move into space,
We gather
move
here
into low Earth
today
orbit,
to
and
bid a
beyond.
final farewell to one of our finest.
And as industry enters
Yeah, she
low
died from
Earth
old
orbit,
age, I think.
we'll
Which
begin
is
to
a good
explore
thing, by the way.
next financial future. The Moon, Mars, even asteroids contain potentially invaluable resources.
Like getting them all
Next
killed,
Journey,
that's different.
We'll explore the private companies developing the technology needed for off-world
Well, I'll be on
mining.
standby
But
again.
in order for
Okay.
it to become a business,
Thank you.
it'll take
Hello,
another
colors.
giant
That we
leap.
pull up. And then he commits seppuku in front of us. What the fuck? That's not what I meant. We need more deep supply. Should be able to get some metal.
With fleets of autonomous trucks,
What?
drills, and even
You
the
skip?
first driverless.
Talk about, mining. It's mining.
Iron, gold, copper. Minerals are the lifeblood of the world's economy. From the Arctic Circle to the Sahara Desert, the $1.7 trillion mining industry supplies raw materials needed for everything, from skyscrapers to smartphones. But mining also comes with an increasingly critical environmental cost, one that may require us to think
Sector
about
scan.
off-planet solutions
Anomaly found.
before it's too late.
Booster ignition.
Asteroids,
have
moons,
the-
and planets
wait.
in our own solar system hold an essentially unlimited supply of untapped resources.
The first trillionaires
We can wait
will be
just a
those
little
who
bit.
mine asteroids.
Resources like
Actually,
gold,
enough.
platinum, and rare earth metals make some of those asteroids incredibly high-priced. But the most valuable element may be our most basic one.
What you want to mine in space is what you need a lot of.
And while humans have been mining for thousands of years, mining in space requires new, innovative technologies to
Let's
realize
actually bring
any
back the
potential
disc, I think. I think we're done with it. Ah, yeah. Ouch.
Meteor shower
Stop.
incoming.
Our initial spectrographic analysis confirmed it. Chromium. To find such a rich deposit of such a rare metal. Important was an understatement.
We'll decrease the engineering tech. So I'm already going through that. So once we set up the power here, we can just move on. I think I call him Man James. Actually, what if I just play the show if I'm doing this? I wonder if I can just do it while I'm listening to this music in the background. Oh God.
Australia can establish a niche space capability.
Australia's high wages have caused some of the largest mining operations in the world to seek cost savings by using automation.
Cold wave approaching.
Rio Tinto, the world's second largest mining
the music
company, has fitted
during it?
operations in Australia with fleets of autonomous trucks, drills, and even the first
Cold
driverless
wave
freight train
and
network.
everything else is gonna kill us.
Adapting these technologies could prove useful to space programs and the use of space technology in mines,
That should protect
such
us
as robotics,
for
would
some
be
cold
useful
waves,
on
but
Earth.
this one really needs
The
set this one
Australian
up.
Centre for Space Engineering Research at the University of
Now
New
we'll go
South Wales
for-
in Sydney was founded in 2010 and has 15 PhD current or graduated students researching space resource ventures related to Australia's needs and expertise.
What we are trying to do at the moment is to reduce the risk perceived by a large company, mining company for instance, when they approach this type of venture. I think one of the main reasons that terrestrial mining companies should be looking at this problem is that they will benefit their terrestrial operations by learning some of these lessons. So if they look at the way that you need to automate on the moon, that will help their terrestrial operation. If you look at the way you would analyse risk for this type of mine, they must learn new lessons, which should hopefully flow back to their risk analysis for terrestrial mining.
Although mining companies have terrestrial mining expertise and monetary advantages, only time will tell who will be the first to provide a fueling station in space.
In terms of making it happen, I actually don't think it'll be a startup. I don't think it'll be a space agency.
Okay, so did I gain the new
I think it will
technology?
be a big company, probably driven by a high net worth individual. A company like Blue Origin, SpaceX, a company like that. Not necessarily them, but something like that.
Proving that this kind of
Oh,
mining
please don't
is
tell me I
feasible
bugged it again.
would trigger an
Oh
influx
no, did I bugged
of
it again?
like-minded
Please no.
companies migrating off the Earth.
I think I bugged it again.
Just one industry
What's wrong with
that would
this?
stake a claim on the vast wealth of space.
Sector scan.
Not only is the universe a
Please
place for
tell me I didn't
exploration, for private companies it's a new resource.
I think it's bugged.
Which will
Ah,
unlock new
fuck me.
possibilities in technology,
What's wrong with you, Rocket?
manufacturing, living and working, both at home and on Earth. And all of this will be the result of our next giant leap.
Why do you keep breaking? What's wrong?
There are
Get the
Earth-sick
fuck out.
colonists. Meteor shower incoming.
Can you still fly though? That's the question. This worked. Okay, what the fuck's wrong with this one? Seriously, why?
Cold
Not
wave
working.
approaching.
Oh god. Okay, well this sucks. Oh god. Okay, it can't go up. Maybe I can make it fly.
There are Earth-sick colonists. Meteor shower incoming.
Oh god. Guess I was so poor. Thank goodness I was ready. We're gonna make Mars one fly. Let's see if it actually works. Cause I don't know. I feel like it's not working. It's not working. It's stuck. It's fucking stuck. It's fucking stuck. Fucking stuck. Oh my god. I recommend new game called Mars. You're stuck on Mars and you need to destroy his okay, so this thing is bugged. I'm not sure how to fix this. I should have a mod to fix that, but it's not working.
There are Earthsick colonies.
Maybe I just need to change the shape.
Shower incoming.
Hopefully that'll fix it, maybe. Question mark. Let's change it to this guy. Nope, this guy is completely broken. Can't do anything anymore with this guy. So that sucks. Oh my god. Yep. That sucks. I don't want. I mean, having a ship like that break, it really sucks. Because that ship costs so much resource.
There are Earthsick colonists.
I know.
Meteor shower incoming.
How do I do? I did destroy. Oh. Ah, shit. There goes all the resource. Do I have to buy another rocket? No, I don't. Okay, I think I'll just call it off today because that just made it sucky. You know what I mean?
Cold wave approaching.
Let me just finish this up and then I'll end the game. Okay, I think I'm done for today. Anyways, thank you for watching this short live stream. It just sucks right now. What's going on? I'm also tired anyways, so that's another why. I need to stretch. Okay then. Anyways, bye bye. I'm so sleepy.
I'm Edward O'Martian, and you're listening to Mars Vision Radio, the bringer of the Mars Vision Song Contest. Don't miss out. Keep listening.
You take all of me, I don't even dare. Weak minds drink the same way. Limp skin when you're gone, hoping that you'll come. Night goes on and on. My friends keep asking why I'm drinking so slow, but I don't wanna be f***ed up and lose it all. Gave you a call but got no answer, now that's all I'm thinking of. And I'm stunned, feeling numb. Stay, stay, stay and hold on tight. Babe, are we out of love somehow? Just stay, stay, stay and hold on tight. I'm the one to blame, didn't think you needed me. Stay, stay, stay and hold on tight. Babe, I'll make it up somehow. Just stay, stay, stay and hold on tight. I'm the one to blame, didn't think you wanted me. Blurred lines, what's to come? Don't know if we're done. Feel so bittersweet, babe. Don't keep me in the dark, 'cause I will soothe your heart if it hurts, and it hurts. My friends keep asking why we're moving so slow. If there's a chance, then now's the time to let go. You called me up, said come on over, now that's all I'm thinking of. And I'm stunned, puzzled now.